Jim Rockers, please welcome Matt, bass player of All That Remains. Recently interviewed Phil. It was a blast. So,
Mm,
Matt, welcome to Jim Rock Crew. I'm honored to
happy to
have you
be here.
here.
Thank you. Thank you. Love the channel. Love what you do. Interview with Phil was great. So I'm excited to be on. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, you ready to get into the questions?
Sure.
So, top three bands on your gym playlist.
Top three on the gym playlist. Pretty much anything. Oh, shit. I don't know if I can swear. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Okay. Been listening to a lot of, I think they're from Finland, kind of a melodic black metal band called Insomnium. It's very fast, very dark, very heavy. Dark Tranquility would be another one. And Soilwork, my top three. Anything Scandinavian, fast, heavy, and dark.
Love that. All right.
Mm.
I haven't really gotten into black metal yet, but I should.
Insomnium would be a good starting point because it's a little less scary and easier to listen to.
I like scary stuff, so.
Okay, well, cool.
All right. Your favorite exercise and why?
Favorite exercise is an incline chest press because it just feels the best when you're on tour, when you're sleeping in a bunk, sleeping in strange hotels and everything, when you're carrying the bass and it's just weighing you down. Getting in there and doing a nice incline kind of opens up the whole chain. In addition to that, the opposite movement, a face pull with the pulley. Anything that opens up the shoulder chain, the back chain.
Face pulls are really good for shoulder health as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your least favorite exercise and why?
Walking lunges because they're hell. Anyone who's ever done a walking lunge would probably agree that they're not very fun. Also, calf raises are something that, unless you have the genetics where you're an easy gainer in the calves, it's something where you could just murder yourself trying to do calf raises and see any progress. And it's like the payoff is so little for the amount of pain that you're in the next day. It's never worth it.
Yeah. Any variation of lunges, they're just hard as fuck. Like
The
I
worst.
actually like Bulgarian split squats. Like those are my favorites because they're brutal, but they're very effective.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see the results with any sort of lunge, but while you're in the moment, you're just like, oh my God, this is only the second set. What the fuck?
Totally. And yeah, about carbs, it's like I'm genetically, gifted with small carbs. So that is such a struggle. God.
Mm.
All right. So let's get into the big questions. What do you do for your fitness in like your regular life when you're not on tour?
So when I'm not on tour, my wife is kind of a gym rat and a health nut. She is such a good inspiration for me. Everything revolves around the scale on the kitchen counter in our home. And being someone who only really recently figured out health and fitness, I'm 40 now, and up until about the age of 37, I just ate whatever I wanted, drank whatever I wanted. I was kind of a fat piece of shit my whole life. And I would go to the gym here and there, but I would have no direction. When I met my wife, she has certifications in training. She has certifications in nutrition. So everything in our life revolves around that kitchen scale. And it keeps you honest because if you're not losing weight, it's not your genetics fault. It's not anything else's fault. It's your fault because you have control over what you put in your mouth. And there's really there's a hard truth to it, So when I'm home, it's strict measurements. I know exactly what goes into my food. It's food logging, and it's 5 days a week. Usually take the weekends off or split it up by taking off Wednesday and Sunday. And it's always like push-pull day, lower body day, accessory day, push-pull day again, leg day again. So we put in a lot of work when I'm at home. When I'm on the road, it's kind of follow that 80-20 rule of be good 80% of the time. And then,
Yeah. Is it just 20 or?
Some days are 70-30, some days are 0-100. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's it's a little harder because when you're not cooking for yourself, even if you go into a restaurant and you're like, you know what, for breakfast, I want to have scrambled egg whites and I want to have dry sourdough bread and a cup of fruit. You don't know if the fruit is in syrup. You don't know if the bread has been cooked on the griddle with spray. You don't know if the eggs are cooked in 1 tablespoon of butter, 3 tablespoons of butter. So there's always this gray area of like 500 to 1,000 calories a day where you have no clue because you didn't prepare the food. And restaurants are cooking everything in God knows what amounts of oil. So it's a lot of like do your best while you're on the road and traveling and make up for it on the back end by, do an extra hour of cardio on your off day, even if you don't feel like it. So it's that calorie gain.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And this is why I always tell people that they should try to eat home cooked food because you have control over what is going into that. So yeah, I totally
Absolutely.
agree. So what's your workout split like then in a week?
Workout split. I would do like a push pull day on a Monday. So any of the upper chain there, legs on a Tuesday. We'll take Wednesday off. I'll hit push pull again on Thursday, hit legs again on Friday, and then on Saturday, just do a cardio only or accessory based or both kind of day where, try to hit an hour on the treadmill, try to go outside and run 2 miles, and then, any stuff like tricep pull downs or like, back extensions, things along those lines. But yeah, exactly.
Nice. So you kind of would work out 6 days, 5 days, 6 days a week?
5 days when I'm at
5 days.
home. On the gym,
Yeah.
it's, whenever there is a hotel gym that is halfway decent.
Cool. So when you're preparing for like you guys tour for like a long time, do you train differently before you go on tour?
Yeah, I try to like say I have 3 months to prepare for a tour. That maybe first month and a half is going to be spent maybe in a bit of a calorie surplus and doing just try to get into a growth routine. A lot of heavy lifting, a lot of higher weight, lower reps sets kind of things just to put on some muscle. And then about at month 2, and if I have about a month left, I'll start reverse dieting, get the calories low, put myself into a deficit, and then just really focus on cardio. Try to run 2 miles a day, try to do an hour on the elliptical, things of that nature, just so that I'm going into it not holding on to a lot of body fat. Because nothing worse than you're about to leave for a tour and you're like, I should have been cutting, and now I'm just going to be gross on stage. And the road isn't really a place to be doing a cut. So
Oh yeah,
try
totally.
to slim down as much as you can going into the tour, and then pray for the
It's
best by the end of the tour.
it's cool because when you start cutting and then you stop like at a certain time, your body still keeps freaking burning that fat, so you keep losing.
Mm,
That's what, I've noticed that happens, and it goes on for like months actually. Unless you're
yeah,
like really overeating, you keep
yeah.
losing. Yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
Cool. So you lift weights. How do you balance that with your practice, like your
Um,
soreness or anything like that?
well, so I've been lucky on this tour that I'm on that we have a physiotherapist out with us. Um, so even if I am destroying myself on stage, my base weighs about 15 pounds. The strap is right here. Um, I will maybe go down a bit in the actual volume of my workouts, like decrease the weight, decrease the amount of sets, but still maintain like go through all the proper movements uh, in more of a therapeutic way. Like just try to open up the chain, get those tendons used to those motions, and then before we play every day, I get about 30 minutes with my physiotherapist who does kind of acupressure massage. So he's able to really take care of my joints. But other than that, a lot of supplements as well, like CoQ10 and collagen as well, just to make sure that I'm feeding my body the correct things to not put myself into even more joint pain.
I love that. So a lot of people just focus on hitting it hard at the gym and stuff, but not on that recovery, mobility, all of that. So
Mm-mm.
you've got that balance. Good.
Yeah, I'll some days on tour, like if I'm, did a heavy carb day the day before, and I know I have an off day or two, I will go in and do like a nice big heavy workout. But if it's like show off day, show off day, show off day, it's really about like let's worry more about how your tendons are going to feel, how your joints are going to feel, rather than try to put on muscle. You should be going into the tour with the muscle you built at home and try not to lose it while you're on the road.
That's such a great tip, though. Really cool.
Mhm.
Right. So when you're on tour, then take us through how you stay fit or try to stay fit.
Try to stay fit. Yeah. So really 99% of it is going to be what I put in my body. And it, like I was saying about when, you know, most of your meals are coming from either restaurants or catering at the show, you don't have a ton of say as to how your meals are prepared. So you have to do what you can to reduce the amount of calories just using smart choices. Like if, in the morning you go out and you're going to do like a 3 egg breakfast with a side, some toast, and a coffee, get egg whites instead of the whole eggs. Or, do like 1 whole egg, 2 egg whites, that kind of thing. No cheese on anything. If there's ever an option to take cheese off of something, do that immediately. It's empty calories. The food's already probably cooked in a ton of butter anyways, so it's not like you're going to be missing out on flavor. So just get rid of the cheese. It's not good for you. It creates a lot of inflammation as well, which is never good on the road. No half and half in your coffee, no cream. Try to go almond milk, try to go unsweetened everything. If there's ever an option for a yogurt, always get the plain non-fat Greek. So really, it's about just making substitutions for everything you eat because it's all going to be cooked in a way that has way more calories than you need anyways. So do what you can to remove as much extra fluff from that because you don't need all that bullshit. You'll probably save yourself an additional 500-600 calories every meal just by at least saying no cheese and like no butter on my toast, nothing like that, no sauces, mayonnaise, things like that. Just get rid of that shit.
Yeah, and it's like salads as well. You ask for a salad and it's
Mhm.
fucking like soaked in oil. And you're like, it's a salad for God's sakes. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
healthy, but
Or
like
like a
what?
fistful of cheese on it and
Right?
like croutons,
Yeah.
just way too much bullshit.
Use your healthy salad. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
but.
How do you protect yourself from getting sick or exhausted on tour?
I've, so my whole life, I've really just had kind of a great immune system. I very rarely get sick, but a lot of that comes down to like, I try not to be gross. I'm a 1 to 2 showers every day kind of person. Like in the early years of touring, because I've been touring since I was 20. Um, it was never that way. You would just rot in your van and like shower every couple of days and like, there'd never be soap in the venue bathrooms because you were playing these little shitty clubs. So really just the fucking basics, like wash your hands, take showers, do your laundry, um, take your shoes off when you get on the bus because you're just tracking around shit from the city streets. Like basic hygiene is something that the music industry kind of like skipped over sometimes. You meet a lot of gross people on the lower level of touring. So as you get a little older, like start just doing those basic things a lot more. Take a fucking shower, especially if you're a fan. Please.
I actually had an artist who said that she wears a mask when she's on tour just to protect
Mhm.
herself, and she kind of doesn't hug and touch people because I mean, if you're sick, that's the end of
Mm.
it.
The
Yeah.
fist bump is a big thing as well. I'm not looking to like give people big hearty handshakes because God knows what the fuck they're doing. And yeah, with like I recently got off a South American tour and it was like Brazil, get on a plane. Argentina, get on a plane. Back to Brazil, get on a plane. Colombia. So every other day you're flying and it's just like you meet the sickest, grossest people on airplanes. It all of a sudden it's just hacking coughs and sneezing and babies picking their nose and shit. So the mask on a plane isn't a bad idea. It's It's probably worth doing anytime you're on a plane. Plus, the recycled air is just so
Totally.
fucking gross.
Yeah. I mean, airports are just a cesspool, right? Of disease and
Absolutely.
germs. Yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah, the grossest people ever, just all in one place, coughing and sneezing on each other.
Nice. So, what do you do to get good quality sleep on tour? Because that's hard to come by, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. So I'm a good boy now. I don't drink nearly as much as I used to. I used to just, from 20 to 30 something every day on tour. It was just like that was the point. You would, start drinking before the show and then after the show, and then you'd wind up at a bar, and then you'd close the bar, and then you go back on the bus and you keep drinking, and then you would magically find yourself asleep and you would wake up, and that's how you would get your sleep. It's no way to live. It's not sustainable. And I'm really happy that there is a culture of drinking not being as like celebrated and important in the music scene anymore. Like, sure, there's plenty of people who party, but like it, there's finally more of a, like people are aware of how bad drinking is for you and your health and your relationships and everything. So now that I don't do that, it's easy for me to get off stage, take a shower, change in my pajamas, and just put myself in the bunk, even if it is like 10 o'clock at night. Um, and really, like, if you're doing everything right, if you're waking up early, you're eating correctly all day, you're staying hydrated, and on stage, you're burning God knows how many calories, you should be exhausted by the time you go to bed. But another thing is you fill your day with like you have long stretches of time with nothing to do and then quickly get ready and play a show and then it's nighttime. So like during that time when you have nothing to do, make the correct choices, stop drinking caffeine all fucking day, like stop having a 4 p.m. Red Bull and wondering why you can't go to bed till 3 in the morning. So it's really like cutting myself off from caffeine after 2, 3 p.m. and put in enough work during the day that you are naturally tired when you go to bed.
I love that. I actually had an artist and a coach here who said that even he noticed that even a glass of wine would disrupt
Mm,
his sleep. Like he had a sleep tracker, and he was like, I was
yeah.
just shocked at how much it actually affected sleep. So yeah, I
Mm,
get what you're saying.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, 8 hours is nearly impossible to get on a bus uninterrupted because just by the nature of a bus, you're going to hit rumble strips through the night, you're going to hit bumps. Um, so, like, just try your best on a bus, but hopefully you get enough days where you have a hotel room, make up for it on that end, sleep in, don't set an alarm if you don't have to, like, just get the sleep. But unfortunately, it's something where sleep is always going to be kind of a major issue if you're touring because it's an uncomfortable environment for sleep.
Yeah. I always wondered though on bunks, don't you like get rocked to sleep? You know?
If the driver's good, yeah. Like if you, there's plenty of times where it's like you wake up and it is pitch black in your bunk, and all you feel is just the movement of the road. And like if you're going through the mountains, or if like you're going through a city and it's just construction and potholes and all that shit, it can get scary for sure. But once you get out like to the Southwest or like the Midwest in America where it's just flat roads, sometimes I don't even know we're driving. It's like so smooth. So it's hit or miss depending on where you are.
Yeah. I used to be a flight attendant, and
Oh,
then we
really?
had these yeah, we had these long flights where we could sleep in the aircraft.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I was just asking because we had those moments where I was like, oh, this is nice. It's like rocking a little, and then we
Oh,
had
yeah.
the turbulence. We just go,
Yeah.
what the hell? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably the same.
Definitely not good.
Yeah. So, do you have a routine before you step on stage?
Yeah. So I try to do, I guess you would call them good mornings. Um, like try to do like a set of good mornings, just body weight, get into as low of a squat position as I can and try to hold it while rocking back and forth from one knee to another. I'll probably bang out about 20 push-ups in a row just to open up that chain, and then the static stretches, the shit like that and all that. But it's really not too much rocket science. I know some people that like foam roll before they play, or take a lacrosse ball to their joints before they play and like try to grind that out. But now for me, it's just static stretching and some lower mobility stuff like good mornings and holding a squat position.
Nice. So, are you like one of those who have to hype themselves up before they get on stage, or do you kind of center yourself, calm down?
I even though I've been doing this a very long time, I still get like a little kid whenever I'm about to go on stage. It's still very fun to me. Um, so I don't need the extra stimulus. It's just like I can hear the crowd and I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Nice, cool, cool. So, you talked a little bit about your diet and the scale and stuff. Tell us a little bit more about what you eat.
So I on the road try to avoid dairy as much as possible, with the exception of yogurt, um, and like kefir or anything like that. I try to get as much probiotics as I can, just because travel by nature is not good to your gut, and do all you can to do that. Um, Egg whites, tons of egg whites. Sourdough is the only type of bread that I'll eat on tour, just because I know it's obviously I don't know who's baking it or anything like that, but by nature it has the least amount of ingredients in it, so it's a little more easy to digest. A lot of fruit. I try to eat as much fruit as possible, but with every meal, it's like pick your carb. So if I'm having a breakfast, I don't want to have like two slices of sourdough toast and also a cup of pineapple, because that's just throwing your carbs off for the morning. So pick one or the other. Um, Avoid dairy at all costs. Almond milk is the only type of coffee creamer I'll have on the road. Um, I'm still guilty of drinking diet soda constantly. I know, like, obviously from just a pure calorie standpoint, it's the smarter thing to have compared to a Coca-Cola, but it's a lot of unnecessary shit you're putting in your body. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of just lean meats. If I'm getting a burger or something like that, I'll usually take off half the bread that comes with it and just eat it with a fork. Absolutely no cheese on it. And anytime you have the option to remove butter, anything along those lines, just do it.
Yeah. It's funny. I never knew about sourdough bread until I
Mhm.
started with a bodybuilding coach and he put that on and I was like, why sourdough? And then I started researching and that is really one of the bodybuilding staples apparently.
Oh yeah, for sure. White rice, sourdough bread. Because I used to
Yeah.
always think like, oh, brown rice. That must be healthier for you, and it takes your body extra time to actually digest it. White rice is such a quick, simple carb. Um, so yeah, a lot of white rice, sourdough, uh, yogurts, and then fruit, of course. But like, don't make sure it's not in syrup. Make sure it doesn't have fucking honey and extra sugar on it. There's no need for it. Uh, Basically, it's about treating your gut properly as well, just because
Mm.
travel sucks.
Yeah. And the other thing is kind of going with single ingredient foods as well. So
Absolutely.
it's safer. Yeah.
Yeah, no spreads, no like, because everything is like in America, because I know you're over in Portugal, correct?
Yeah.
You guys have a little higher standards for,
I
food.
heard.
Yeah. But over here, it's just like, like a mayonnaise or a dressing or anything like that. It's like, it's not made with olive oil. It's not made with good eggs. It's always going to be the cheapest shit ever. It's going to be soybean oil and just, you know, it's all about cost here with ingredients. Restaurants want to turn a profit, so they're not going to use good quality ingredients to feed you. They're going to worry about their bottom line. So just assume everywhere you go is trying to feed you the lowest quality shit that they can at the highest price they could charge you for it. So don't let them get away with it. Just get rid of all the extra bullshit. A hamburger is made out of beef. you know that that's what it is. Their bread, their buns, their dressings, it's a fucking mystery. So like try to stick to single ingredient foods as much as you can. That is great advice.
Yeah. I actually, when I visited America and had breakfast outside, I was just like shocked with the portion size. It's
Oh yeah.
fucking huge. Like it was like
Yeah.
3 meals for me. I was like, what the hell? People actually eat this in one go. So
It's
that's another thing.
it's pretty fucking crazy. Where in America were you?
Oh, it was. I think this one was Chicago, but I've been like to New
Uh,
York and other places
yeah.
as well. So yeah,
Yeah, Chicago, the portions out there, just because it's so fucking cold most of the year, it's like everything is comfort food there, especially our pizza. God damn.
so speaking of pizza, what is your favorite treat?
It's pizza, yeah. I do. I absolutely love pizza. I'm from New England, like the Connecticut, Massachusetts area, and Connecticut style pizza is the absolute best in America. It's where it's cooked in a brick oven, so it has the nice char on it. Absolutely love. Anytime I can get a Connecticut style pizza anywhere, coal fired, wood fired pizza. Um, I do love cannolis, any sort of Italian bakery food. Cannolis and Italian pastries are a big thing as well. I may have had a cannoli last night. Um, Cheese, what else? Um, Cheesecakes,
So
anything
you
like
have a
that.
sweet tooth?
I do have a sweet tooth, and it's bad, but
It's more like sweet teeth
it,
then.
yeah, yeah, just like in moderation. Try not to do because I'm not a big believer in like a cheat meal or a cheat day because I think you're just fucking up your progress basically because it is a numbers game. But when I do fuck up, I fuck up extravagantly. I try to I try to have a big ass day, but it's hard for me to get back on track. It's so hard after a day of high sugar for your body to get the insulin to like get everything under control because I'm craving it for days afterwards.
Yeah, makes total sense. I
Mhm.
think, I mean, there are some people who can just do this, eat in moderation and then have the sugar every day. But I mean, I'm not one of those. I can't do
No,
that. If there's
no,
a slab of
it's all
chocolate,
or
yeah.
nothing. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Is there any sport you've always wanted to try, but you haven't tried yet?
I'm obsessed with professional wrestling. I love professional wrestling. I've loved it since I was a kid. I still watch it. I like keep up with it to the point where, grown adults my age are like, damn, you still watch that bullshit? But no, I love professional wrestling. I think the art of it is incredible. What it takes to actually put on a match in the ring where it looks believable and you're not hurting the other partner and the amount of endurance you need to like pick up a 250-pound man, put him over your head, slam him, do a backflip off a top rope, things of that nature. I would love to go back in time and also love to be like more than 6 feet tall, but go back in time as a guy who's like 6'4" and just train to become a professional wrestler. I would absolutely love that.
Nice, nice. All right. So if you could choose one person to train with, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Hmm. Probably like 70s Schwarzenegger. Just like Pumping Iron was such a cool documentary to me as a kid. And seeing like that golden age bodybuilding, like the Franco Columbu and like Schwarzenegger and all the golden era guys, so incredible. Seeing just how they didn't have any of the crazy technology we have today, and they still managed to put on insane amounts of muscle. And they had like about a tenth of the nutritional knowledge that we have now. So to go back in time and like train on just basic equipment and then try to feed ourselves like steak and beer to get big afterwards, like I would love to train with like a Columbu or a Schwarzenegger back in the day.
Yeah. But I'm going to stop asking this question because everyone's choosing him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I almost know you're going to say Arnold.
All right, well, fine. Ronnie Coleman.
Okay.
Just because he seems like
Lightweight.
he would have been a lot of fun to train with back in the
Mm,
90s.
Yeah, I guess them both of them. I mean, all of that whole era, I guess. I think even
Yeah,
with one session, I mean, there's just so much we would learn with just going back to basics.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So we've actually finished all the questions. Do you have anything health related you want to add?
Um, yeah. So about 10 years ago, I got on a little health kick where I was like, you know what? I'm sick of being fat. I'm going to start going to the gym. And I had a friend who was working at a CrossFit gym, and he was like, "Yeah, you got to come in and train with me." And I did. And I went in very unprepared with no understanding of Olympic lifts or anything like that. And I ended up blowing out three vertebrae in my spine. And I needed a surgery afterwards. So, like 10 years ago, I recovered from a pretty gnarly back surgery as a result of improper form and improper lifting. And it kind of like put a stop to my music career for about 2 years as well, because I had to recover from that. And it was really just like, wow, I'm too young to be going through this shit. So like if you're in your 20s now, like, and you're touring and you're on the road, your body's going to get fucked up. And like when you're younger, it's easier for you to bounce back. But like if you don't start putting in that work early on, you can really fucking hurt yourself later in life. And like if music is your livelihood, if you do something dumb to your back or if you do something dumb to your shoulder, just because you're going into something exercise related unprepared, that's money out of your wallet right there. So like start taking exercise and like learn how to treat your body correctly. It's worth it. It's an investment that really doesn't take a lot of effort. There's so many resources now about how to train properly, how to lift properly, how to warm up properly that you can use in your music career as well. So, like, do a little bit of research now to have a longer career later. I regret those 2 years I wasn't able to tour because I was recovering from back surgery. And it was so stupid just because I went into a gym and didn't know how to deadlift properly and deadlifted more than I should have. So, like, really, like, take your health and fitness seriously early on, and it'll pay off if you want to keep doing this for a long time.
I love that. So I think in general, like people need to be healthier and focus on their health and fitness for longevity and stuff. But
Hmm.
even like, especially for musicians, because you guys are basically athletes, you know, the stage performances are,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, you know, I mean, you're holding those heavy instruments and you're doing all those twists and turns and jumps and running around and stuff. So
Hmm.
absolutely, they do need to take care of themselves. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get back surgery. Like, never get to the point where you need to have back surgery, especially when you're 30. It's way too young to be doing that.
Yeah, and also CrossFit, like, okay, fine, you can get injured with any kind of sport, but
Yeah.
CrossFit really has that higher risk of getting
Right?
injured. Yeah.
Like, why should I have to do as many deadlifts as possible in a minute? Why not do three really good deadlifts and like learn how to do it properly? Because
Yeah.
at some point your form is going to suffer, and either your knees or your lower back is going to be doing the majority of the lift when really it should be your glutes. It should be that whole chain. Like, learn how to do it properly.
Love that. Love that. All right. Jim Rockers, give Matt a follow. I'm going to put your Instagram handle. And
Yeah.
also, you guys are going live next, I think, Rockville and then Sonic Temple.
Yep, yep. So we have shows in May, and then you'll be hearing from us soon. There's new stuff in the works, so follow at All That Remains on Instagram. Be the first to know about new music, new dates, new merch, all that kind of stuff. We have some exciting stuff coming up. So yeah, give us a follow. Follow Phil. He's a great fitness resource as well. Our drummer Anthony Barone, great fitness resource. Mike Martin used to be a bodybuilder, so like he's a great resource. We're all into it, and we try to hold each other accountable, with the exception of saying, "Hey, do you want to go grab cheesecakes or something? Grab ice cream, grab crumble cookies, all that bullshit." But 90% of the time, we're really good.
No, you've owned it. So I'm going to get the other members of the band here as well, then, right?
Yeah, yeah, you should. You should talk to Anthony. He's our drummer. He he's a little younger than us, but like really into lifting. Loves Muay Thai, boxing, things of that nature. Really tries to stay active, and he is such an animal at drums that it like he's the one working hardest on the stage for sure.
Yeah, drummers are just insane. Like, I don't know how they do
Mm.
it.
He's
Crazy.
he's he's a beast. You'll love talking to him.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Yeah,
again.